Hello, guys. Welcome here to a Memorial Day weekend episode of Tinkle Sports Talk. No, we don't take breaks. Jason's dressed like he's going to a concert, while I look like the average dad at a barbecue waiting for the potato salad. Okay.
Well, you're also getting ready to go to church, and then
Yeah.
I'm just lounging around on a day off.
He's just
So.
a bum. No. Okay.
Yeah. Spare change.
Spare change. No. Oh, boy. Anyway.
If you ever watched South Park, you would understand the reference.
So, real quickly, we want to say thank you to all the active service members. Thank you to all the ones who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Of course, that is the main reason for the weekend. Yep.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I wish I had red, white, and blue on. That would have made so much better sense. But this polo was just calling my name today. So.
Well, the only
That's
problem is the only red, white, and blues I probably have is the Bills jerseys, but I don't want to pull it out.
We'll figure it out for 4th of July weekend. We got a little time. But anyway, coming up on the show today, we got some NFL news. We're going to talk the latest on Julio Jones and Aaron Rodgers. We also got a surprise, well, maybe not a surprise NFL retirement to talk about. We were also going to talk about the latest on the NBA playoffs and an issue in Philadelphia during that series. The new PGA champion. We'll also talk MLB and some Stanley Cup playoffs. And we got, I think, the Tinkle on this to top all Tinkle on this is thus far. I hope I pronounced that right.
I think so.
You guys are just going to want to stay tuned to the end, okay? If you're watching this on the premiere, stay tuned to the end. I promise you, this Tinkle on this, it doesn't get any better than this. So, let's start out by talking some NFL news as Jason's changing the date on me on this sheet. But hey, thank you.
Finally got in. We finally got the episode where we can get into drinking age.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have a beer to celebrate. But anyway, NFL news. So Julio Jones, he was called by Shannon Sharpe during Undisputed earlier this week, all to settle a debate. And he said, I want out, simply. And then he asked Julio Jones, where do you want to go? Do you want to play for the Cowboys? Julio Jones said, I only want to play for winners. That should have been a tinkle on this moment, but sorry. This is just the week of this is the 1 week episode where every story that we talk about is just a tinkle on this moment. Almost. Okay, it's almost every single topic NFL wise. But Jason, what I got to start out by saying,
Well, you know what? We've had him. We've been talking about the whole Julio Jones stuff. Of course, last episode we were talking about potential suitors of who could go after Julio Jones and who could be a front runner. But the I don't know, to call him on live television just to make sure like he's not bullshitting. Why couldn't you have done that with Aaron Rodgers?
No. Okay.
I hate to say it. I mean, but then again, you shouldn't be doing it at all.
Look, as much as I agree with that, it was the right move to get the true answer. But you need to tell him.
The way you went about it.
You need to tell him he's on live TV. And the fact of the matter is, Shannon Sharpe wasn't looking for a hot take. He was looking to win an argument against Skip Bayless. The easiest thing in the world to do because Skip Bayless is a fucking moron, okay? Easiest thing you could do. All you got to do is open your mouth and you won the argument because Skip is unable to put together a coherent argument on why his teams are good.
Yeah, he is.
Okay? He's incompetent. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
And you want to know the
thing about Julio.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to finish up on Skip. And you want to know the best part about Skip? He doesn't even care because he's making $30 million a year. But anyway, what were you going to say on Julio here?
Shoot, must be nice for him. But no, I was gonna
Seriously.
say the thing about Julio Jones is I just think there's a whole bunch of drama. I think he's just getting pissed that he's just not valued so much as, playing like he should be playing. Yeah, injuries, we've been talking about it. Yes, a lot of these players have a lot more say than back in the day where, oh, I'm not gonna stay with this team. I know I can win. I know I'm a Super Bowl champion receiver. Um, the thing that I found interesting, how he wants to play
Mhm.
for Cam Newton, and then Cam Newton's also, um, I think he's training with a throwing coach, so
Yeah.
he's trying to work on his throwing and his accuracy. Oh, that's cool. That's all fine and dandy, but you still know that you're back on a 1-year contract. You're still on a prove it
Mhm.
to us basis. I don't know what the hell New England saw and wanting to bring him
Mhm.
back. They probably thought, well, fuck it. He's the best option we have as a
Mhm.
veteran quarterback at this point
He's
at a cheap bargain.
Cam Newton is going to be to Mac Jones what Derek Anderson was to him. Derek Anderson was never a mobile quarterback. He was never
Yeah.
a guy who could get out of his own way. He was a guy who was pass first, much like all the older quarterbacks in the game. Um,
hmm
and let's face it, this is the reverse role now because Mac Jones is a throw first guy, not so much a mobile guy. So at the end of the day,
I
it's
just don't think
just opposite day.
I just don't think Cam Newton and New England's offense match at
No,
all. Because
I
if
think
you've seen how Tom Brady was with that offense, he wasn't a run first that guy. He was a pass first guy.
yeah,
And that's why I think Cam Newton's struggling big time. Okay, cool, you can
yeah,
work on your throwing, you can work on your accuracy all you want. But if you as a quarterback, since you've been drafted what in 2011, um
yeah,
you've been run and pass, but more run heavy than you've been pass heavy. You can't change the quarterback. Yeah, people can say,
hmm,
"Oh, well, Josh Allen was comparing to Cam Newton
yeah,
because the build, the accuracy issues and
hmm,
stuff like that." If I see anything from last year, I wouldn't compare the two together at all because
no,
Josh Allen really took that step forward. But the thing with Cam Newton, I gotta see a lot more out of him before I think, oh well, Julio going to New England is a fit. I need to
hmm,
see more out of Cam Newton passing wise before I think, okay, you know what? Maybe him going
yeah.
to New England is gonna
See,
guarantee him winning culture. I'm sorry, New England's not the team it used to be, and I don't think they ever will be unless Mac Jones can be like that Tom Brady quarterback that they also like always find a
hmm,
diamond in the rough kind of player in a
yeah.
draft every once in a while. But if I'm Julio Jones, I don't think going to New England is the best bet. You're gonna have to go somewhere else where you're gonna have a quarterback that
See,
can throw you the ball.
I the other day I got in a nice little discussion about so um obviously they're going to get a first round pick from. I would love nothing more for him than to come to the Chargers, but let's face it, we've
Mm,
got Mike Williams right now. We've got Keenan Allen, who is an underrated top 5 receiver. I'm sorry, I'm still going to hang
yeah.
on to that. Um you got a young quarterback. He's going to be productive in this offense, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind losing a few catches to Keenan Allen. But the problem is, with me, he can't stay healthy to save his life. Once that hamstring kicks in, that's it for the year. Okay, that is going
hmm
to hamper him. Um, so I just don't think he could turn the Chargers into a clear-cut contender or anything that could dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they could get close. I think it could come down to week 18, but I don't think it's going to be, clear cut. They're not going to win that division. Kansas City I'm
Right.
talking about.
I don't know.
Um
I just hate that Buffalo was thrown into the
Yeah,
conversation for it. We
Buffalo
don't need a guy
Buffalo
like
can
Julio Jones at all.
but Buffalo can spare a first round pick. That's why they have him in the running, and also to have a sidekick to Stephon
Probably,
Diggs.
especially if it's going to be a late round first, like
See,
a late round pick, maybe. I mean, maybe you
yeah,
can sacrifice one. Like, yeah, maybe we don't really need like the 30th pick. You guys, another
yeah,
team can maybe have it. And I'm being a little too
hmm
fair. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen when the season starts. Who knows? Buffalo could be worse, better. Who the hell knows? Um, yeah, maybe you can sacrifice a first round pick, but to go after a
yeah.
receiver that wants to be a number one, and when we already have him,
You have a number
Stephon
one and
Diggs
then
and Cole
some in
Beasley,
him.
and then we have Gabriel Davis, who showed a lot of promise in year one. I don't think we even need him. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool to bump up your receiving core, but
See,
like, for what reason? Does to have him and then lose him? Maybe if, he doesn't get what he wants? I
you,
don't know.
you know how I've given shit about Patrick Mahomes winning MVP when he has a loaded offense around him?
Yeah.
That to me would be the same argument for Josh Allen if he got Julio Jones. Obviously, Josh Allen, I believe, was third in MVP voting last season.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Mm.
you add Julio Jones. To me, that takes Josh Allen right out of an MVP discussion because now he's got people around him. Look at what he's got. He's got more than enough help
Yeah.
to make him that good. That said, though, I think if they got Julio Jones, now it takes the pressure off Stephon Diggs because I don't, as much as you like Gabriel Davis, as much as you like Cole Beasley, they aren't guys that can take the heat off of Stephon Diggs. They really aren't.
Uh, I mean, they probably aren't. But no, 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 wait. I just forgot. We have Emmanuel Sanders too.
Yeah,
Oh my God. I
yeah.
can't believe yeah, so
But
we
Emmanuel
really don't
Sanders is
need
going to be in the
so
slot.
Emmanuel Sanders will take a lot. Yeah, well, probably not. I think he's going to be more of an outside threat. I think he was
See,
last year with the New Orleans Saints.
I want to see what he can do after that. Because to be honest, I haven't been too impressed with him since he left San Fran. So I'm hoping he can get back to that guy that was impressive. And if anyone can do it, it's
I look at it
McDermott.
this way. Yeah. I mean, well, I wouldn't even say it's McDermott. It's Brian Dable
Or yeah,
that can probably turn him
true.
into another star. But I mean, look what he did with Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, yes, he was good in Dallas, but he
Hmm.
really changed around his career in Buffalo in
Yeah.
the last few years.
Um.
But more
See.
so on Julio, I don't know. It would be cool to
See.
see him team up with AJ Brown, a young and upcoming receiver in Tennessee, especially with Ryan Tannehill really revitalizing his career.
Hmm.
But
Now I would have loved
I don't
that.
know. It's rough.
Here's the thing. I think if he had gone to Tennessee, it's not going to happen now, from what I'm hearing.
Right.
Tennessee is not going to make the deal.
Mm,
I thought for sure, and I was sitting here the other day, I'm like, Tennessee is one good receiver away from possibly dethroning the Chiefs in the AFC.
yeah.
Same could probably be said about the Bills. They're probably a few good parts and pieces away from dethroning the Chiefs. Okay? I don't think that competition
Yeah.
gap is too far apart right now. I think there's teams that just need one more little part and they could. I think there's like 3 or 4 teams that have just one more need and they could be up there competing with the Chiefs.
And I think, speaking on that, I think that's why Buffalo decided to go after two edge
Mm,
rushers with their first two picks.
yeah.
It's because they knew, well, our defense got gashed by the Chiefs. Gave up,
Mm,
what, I think 290 yards of total offense to Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. So they knew what was at stake, and
but see,
they addressed it. Of course, Bills Mafia is like, oh well, why don't we go after running back? We need a
mm,
running back. Well, no, we do not at all.
it would
But
have been
yeah,
a great asset But the problem is, at the end of the day, I think what held you back in that game was your defensive coordinator there, who was the old Vikings coach. I think he's what held you back because he's like, oh, Mahomes is hurt. Why don't we just blitz him? So
Yeah.
But
Probably, but that's, I mean, that's what he did all year. And he thought, oh, well, we did it all year. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But other than that, speaking of the whole Shannon Sharp thing,
he should be suspended.
I don't think it's, I think he should be suspended. I don't think it's good journalism. Yeah, maybe it's a good joke. Like
I don't even think that's a joke.
the poke. Maybe I don't know. I think it was more so a thing of poking fun at Skip Bayless on live TV than it was anything. But yeah, I don't think you should be doing something like that.
But you don't need to poke fun at Skip Bayless. That's what I was saying earlier. You don't need to poke fun at him. He's so stupid, he makes himself look funny. Okay? Just like Max Kellerman. He says stuff that's so stupid, the vile that comes out of his mouth, or the garbage, the rubbish that comes out of his mouth, is out of both their mouths, is enough to make them look stupid. Okay? So, but anyway, let's move on here. Aaron Rodgers was on SportsCenter. First off, who was that anchor that left? He just said, fuck you, Aaron Rodgers, stormed off the set after the interview. That was another runner-up for Tinkle on this week. But, so he was talking about his issue with the Green Bay Packers. He had stated, I like Jordan Love. It was never about him. It's about the people in Green Bay at the top. Are you buying any of this right now? Or is this just a cop-out, damage control? Like putting up the curtain and saying nothing to see here.
Probably putting up the curtain and saying there's nothing to see here because, you would think that having a problem with the people involves drafting Jordan Love. Like it kind of it kind of goes hand in hand together. Well, the people that are in charge, like the GM and the owner, or not the owner, but the GM and then like I think they have like an active owner or something like that. I don't know how the Green Bay Packers work with all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the GM and acting owner were like, well, Aaron Rodgers is probably not going to stay with us forever. So you know what? Let's draft his quarterback and not let him know about it.
See,
like
you could have waited till the second round for that.
Yeah, I know.
I get it. Jordan Love is the perfect fit because the guy, he has a lot to learn. He wasn't ready coming into the league. Chances are, anywhere else he went, he was probably going to be thrown into the starting role.
Probably.
Or he was, like I said, he wasn't going to get a chance to shadow very long. That's what's great about this deal. But you need to tell him what you're doing. And I think there's a way that Aaron Rodgers doesn't hate Jordan Love, but he hates him. Okay? I think he hates the situation that he was drafted, but he doesn't hate him because he's a teammate. And obviously, at the end of the day, you can't have bad chemistry with your teammates because it's going to look bad. Look at Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, okay? That was, without a doubt, a shit show situation in Philadelphia. Okay, I think he knows he doesn't want to be that guy like Tom Brady to get Jimmy G thrown out. He doesn't want to be that guy to get Jordan Love thrown out. But he also wants to protect himself. He wants to be sure that he has a future. And it's he's kind of in the middle of that. Like, I don't hate him, but I hate him.
I don't know.
If that makes any sense.
Tough. No, you're definitely right because And I think this also ties into it a
Mm.
lot too. Like he has such a great supporting cast around him. He is one of the best receivers. One of a tight end that was like a
Yeah,
touchdown
Robert
machine,
Tanyan.
and Rob Onion. He has a really good defense. Probably a couple of the better offensive linemen in the league. One of the top running backs, and then you're still not happy. Like the coach has, like,
Mm.
was it Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, Matt LaFleur.
Yeah,
Mike
Matt
LaFleur's the
LaFleur.
Jets.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur has really changed around the culture of this team, and you're excelling. Like
See,
you're not like great. You're like excelling in that offense a lot better than you were with Mike McCarthy. What more do you want? I get it. You want another ring. You want another championship. You
see,
get to the NFC championship and you flop it every freaking year.
but
I get it. But when you have teams like uh the Bucks, like San Fran, who was good that year, I don't know what else
mm,
you want to do. They just had the better teams that year.
yeah,
You know, maybe sometimes it's more on Aaron Rodgers than it is on the Green Bay Packers. If you can't excel in the NFC
hmm
Championship game, I don't know what else to tell you.
but I mean,
Maybe those teams had a better defense and you just couldn't do anything against it. I just don't know what else to tell you.
see, but what screwed him this year was a coaching staff decision. At the end of the day, okay, they should have never kicked that field goal. Um, that
Yes,
that
okay,
can't be
now
blamed
that
on
I
Rodgers.
agree with. You have to,
Okay,
yes, this year was blamed on
but
the coaching staff. I think the year
there's
before was more so Aaron
but there's
Rodgers.
but there's things there's only a certain amount of stuff you can blame on Aaron Rodgers, just like in the NBA there's only a certain amount of stuff you can blame LeBron for. Um
But but the
okay.
problem with Matt LaFleur is he's still a very
Yeah.
young head coach. He has to learn from his
Yeah.
mistakes before he can fix them. Aaron Rodgers is
But
gonna have to be patient. I think
but there's a
I
point where
want to
you
say
got to be
maybe this
bold.
year has got to be the year. Yes. You got to take you got to take the touchdown
Okay.
over the easy points. The easy points is the field goal. I get it. The hard points
Yeah.
are the touchdown, but you have to take that chance.
See,
Um,
look at Mike
of course, I
Vrabel.
can also say,
Okay, I just want to say, look at Mike Vrabel. Okay,
mhm.
that man will literally throw. He will finish behind 50-0, and he'll still be taking these big risks. You know,
Yeah, I know he
look at
will
it.
be.
He's a guy who has the balls to make those decisions. I think Matt
Yeah, he
LaFleur
does.
needs to essentially. I mean, regardless, you're gonna lose sleep over a loss like that. But at some point, I
Hmm.
would rather lose sleep as a coach. I would rather lose sleep over taking a chance in it failing than taking the easy way out and thinking, man, what if I had taken a chance here with an MVP quarterback?
I know, and a
So,
multiple MVP quarterback too.
uh, but um,
Uh, I don't know what woulda, coulda, shoulda. I
yeah,
guess is
but
what is the statement that could be said about that situation. Unfortunately.
yeah, but let's move forward here. Adam Vinatieri, a man who has been in the league since I was born, not before Jason was born, but before I was born.
Yeah, 24 years.
Yeah, you was drafted the year after you were born. So, but he was drafted before I was born. He has retired from the NFL. Um, my whole childhood, my whole adult life has been knowing that Adam Vinatieri is in the NFL. That's been the one consistency. Now what do I have? Now what do I have to look forward to? But
I guess crappy kickers.
crappy kickers,
Um,
rejection, death, taxes. Do I need to go on?
no,
But he's
not at
been.
all.
If you want to really feel old, if you are at my age group, he's been in the NFL as long or back when Bill Clinton was president. Okay, He was in the
That's
NFL. He was in the NFL when Bill Clinton was getting freaky with the Oval Office. Okay. He was in the NFL before he was TB12 before TB12. That man could have played till he was 50. Okay. He's the only man to live in a retirement. He was the only man to live in a retirement home and still play in the NFL. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Sorry. Okay, we're done with the old jokes.
I mean, I know he looks like he's 70, but he's actually almost 50.
Who said I can't
that man
cross
has
the
not
line?
aged very well.
Okay. No.
Oh no. Vinatieri definitely deserves to retire. He's done a lot in his career. He
a Hall of
basically
Famer.
helped the Patriots win not just one but 2 rings.
He's
off of
responsible
2 clutch
for
kicks.
He's responsible
against the
for
Rams.
his Super Bowl. Okay, Brady owes him
I
his
wanna
life
say-
for a few of those Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, it was the Rams and the Panthers. I think he
Yeah.
both hit the clutch, the 2 game-winning field goals. So that alone, not just doing it once but twice, I think that should get you in the Hall of Fame right
Yeah.
then and there. Is hitting 2 of the
I
clutchest
think
kicks to
he's-
win 2 Super Bowls, and I want to say they were back-to-back years
Yeah.
too.
I want to say as well that he is by far, I don't even think it's a contest now. He is the best kicker in NFL history.
Oh
Look,
yeah, of course.
Look, Justin Tucker is going to, at the end of the day, I'm going to be willing to make this prediction. Justin Tucker will go down as the clutchest kicker in NFL history. Adam Vinatieri will go down as the greatest in the history of the game.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, there's a difference.
He should be first ballot Hall of Famer. There should be no question
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If his name comes into the conversation, you put him
Okay.
in. You don't just, oh, well, he's a kicker. Let's wait a few years. No, you put him in if
Yeah.
he's eligible first year.
Oh yeah, but
when he becomes eligible, you put him in.
Okay, this question that I wrote down goes without saying. He has nothing more to prove, okay? He had nothing more to prove
No,
to
not
himself.
at all.
He had nothing more to prove to himself 3 seasons ago, okay?
You knew he had nothing more to prove when he freaking got taken over by a rookie
Yeah.
kicker. So right then
but-
and there, you knew.
But let's
You know
face
what,
it,
my
then
time's up, and I'll let this guy.
yeah. Let's face it, you're racing father time no matter what. Okay. Sometimes it hits you when you're 40. Sometimes it hits you when you're 42 in the NFL. Sometimes if you're Tom Brady, it'll just hit you when you're 80. Okay. It hit.
Yeah, never.
Okay, let's face it. Not last season, but the season before when he was the Colts kicker, it hit him. Okay, Father Time hit him then and there, and it said, "Okay, you're past your prime, bud. Okay, you're just not what you used to be." And I think he accepts that, and I think he accepted it mainly because he didn't get a job last year.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he didn't get to finish his career out the way he wanted to, but nonetheless, he had nothing more to prove. Okay, he was far from having anything more to prove, except that he could still play the game. But let's move on to some NBA news now, since we're a little behind. The Bucks have taken a 3-0 lead on my guys. Jason, is that a fluke at this point? What happened last year?
I mean, it could be. It very well could be. I think the Bucks were just. This is like a revenge series, kind of like the same thing with the Mavs and Clips. We'll get closer to that when we get to that topic, but who knows? A lot of. I mean, I guess the same thing could be said about Suns and Lakers, but as far as the Bucks leading 3-0, I also don't think this Heat team is the same as it was last year.
No.
Yeah, if they get swept by the Bucks, you gotta do something. I think maybe the Heat will win like maybe a game or two, make it kind of a competitive series,
Yeah.
probably make it like a 5-6 game series. But at this point, their chances. I hate to say it, Brian.
Hmm.
No team has come back from a 3-0
Oh, I
deficit, so
know.
I think the Heat are gonna get
Yeah.
swept, if not
It's
4-1, because no
it's
team comes back from it.
everyone's saying that, well, Tyler Hero is not great outside of the bubble. And it's, the guy's having, I think, a sophomore slump. I think he peaked early. Um,
Mm.
you know, maybe Jimmy Butler isn't the guy. Who knows what it is? But,
No, I
you
don't
know,
think Jimmy Butler is not the guy. I mean, he's had great um
but
seasons.
yeah,
It's just this year he's just
the
not showing up like he did last year.
I'm not making excuses, but I will say, as a Heat fan, even though I don't watch the NBA, I will go to the grave saying it's not Spoelstra's fault. Okay? Um,
No, not at all.
no, Spoelstra. I'm sorry. I will go to the grave and I will say he is the greatest coach in like modern day NBA right now. Only because,
Hmm.
again, I had that title for Popovich, but Popovich has become like Bill Belichick. He's a guy who benefited greatly from drafting Tim Duncan. He benefited greatly from having the general on his team. He benefited,
Hmm.
or maybe it was the admiral.
From having the claw
Yeah,
on his team
yeah, having
too.
Kawhi. He benefited greatly
Hmm.
from drafting him. Okay, and then he benefited from having two great sidekicks. I wouldn't say two great two goats, but I would say two good sidekicks in Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. Um,
Hmm.
he just hasn't found that again, and unfortunately, I just don't think Popovich in today's NBA is going to find that again. But I will go to the
No,
grave
probably
though and
not.
say, and the only reason I say Spolstra is so good is he's a guy who has taken 15, 10 win teams at most, and he's made them 25, 30, 35 game winners. Okay?
Hmm.
How is it hard? Okay? And if you're sitting there laughing at me, I'm just going to tell you, name three. I dare you to name three coaches that could do the same exact thing in today's NBA. I'll tell you one of them, Doc Rivers. Okay? But the rest I can't name.
Uh, Doc Rivers, probably the Golden State head
I don't
coach,
think it's him.
and
Okay? You want to know why? You want to know why I don't think Steve Kerr could do it? Okay?
why is that?
Because Steve Kerr inherited the Splash Brothers and he was fortunate enough to sign Kevin Durant. Okay?
Uh,
He
yeah,
inherit
probably.
Okay, they didn't even need to fire their coach that year before Steve Kerr.
Yeah, but the same thing could be said about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers
Yeah.
inherited Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, a lot of those players. So it's kind of
But
tough to even put him in that
but
conversation.
but look
Yes,
but
he
look at the
did draft.
Clippers. Look at the
Um,
Celtics stint. Okay? Look at those two stints. He really didn't I don't think personally he inherited a great team over on the Celtics or the Clippers. I think he's partially responsible for building what happened in those two areas.
oh yeah, I think so too.
Okay, that's why I say he's a guy
That's
who
why
could
it's
do
tough.
that.
If you want to see about any coach that's probably helped develop a player that he probably drafted very well, and I know we've talked so much shit about Rick Carlisle, but
Hmm.
I give Rick Carlisle a lot of credit for developing Luka Doncic into an all-star. Even
Yeah,
though, yes, he was already an all-star, he was already a professional basketball player at a very young age,
yeah,
but not a lot of those European players overseas end up like doing the kind of stuff that
yeah.
he does. And I get it. There's a lot of players that coming overseas, Jokic,
Hmm.
Luka, a lot of all those other players like Giannis, even Giannis from
Yeah.
Athens, Greece. Um, you know, we're revolving to more of like a European
Hmm.
style um NBA than we have ever. So
Yeah.
yes, I get them. A lot of them are good from overseas, but you also have to develop them into
Yeah.
those kind of stars. So I give those coaches that have taken
Mm.
Giannis to being like a 30-point all-star, taking Luka to being like almost averaging like 30
Mhm.
points a game. So you gotta give it a lot of credit to a lot of those coaches. So
Yeah. Um.
if anything, I want to give a lot of credit to the Nuggets, a lot of credit to the Dallas Mavericks, a lot of credit to the Bucks for developing those guys into all-stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Americans, like Doc Rivers
Mm.
inherited the Clippers, inherited the 76ers, inherited the Celtics because if you think about it, the only
Mhm.
player that I think that they drafted was Rondo. That was
Yeah.
it. Of
But
all that big four,
but
and maybe
again,
Kendrick Perkins. Other than that, they inherited Paul Pierce. They inherited Ray Allen. They
mm,
inherited Kevin Garnett.
yeah. But again, I mean, it also, as much as I want to say they inherited it, it takes another skilled coach to make them work together. Okay,
Hmm.
Popovich didn't inherit Tim Duncan, Tony Parker,
No,
Manu
he actually.
Ginobili. He built that. Okay.
That's why I can give Popovich a lot of credit because he drafted those guys. He never inherited any
Yeah.
player.
And
Maybe you can say, oh well, he got DeMar DeRozan and he got Rudy Gay,
yeah,
and they both came
but
from Toronto, and then one came from
yeah, but I'm not.
Memphis. But
But again, I want to state I'm not discrediting what Popovich has done. I'm just saying that I
hmm
just don't feel like, again, maybe it's because he's in the West and it's a lot tougher in the West. But
yeah,
I just don't think that he's as good of a coach as people make him out to be compared to Eric
hmm
Spoelstra, who was good before the Big Three. He's good after the Big
right.
Three. Um, so that's why I lean towards Spolstra as the greatest coach because let's face it, he shouldn't have won more than 20 games after LeBron left and Chris Bosh was mangled basically, and so was Dwayne Wade.
hmm
Okay, he shouldn't have won as much as he did, and he did. Um,
But if I wanted to like go back on track and say if last season was a fluke, yeah, I definitely would because a lot of
mm,
teams like there
see,
was such a big break and it was like a new season starting, so they had a lot of time to to fix everything that
see,
they had. Yeah, I got it. They practiced on the same courts that they played on, but
it's tough to
no
tell.
team had a home court advantage.
It's tough to
And then
tell
they didn't have to play in
because
front of fans. So,
again, last season was part A and part B. Okay?
hmm
Let's face it, part A was pre pandemic. Then you had 3-4 months and part B started. Okay?
hmm
I don't think, I don't want to use the word fluke, but I guess peaked at the right time is the better way to put it. And
hmm
then, last year the Heat peaked at the right time, and maybe there was a little bit of championship loss hangover. Maybe,
Yeah, and that happens to
um,
a lot of teams
and I don't,
too.
and I don't
I
want,
just think that I just think that if they lose the series, they definitely have to refocus and see what's up, what do we
yeah,
need to fix? Do we need to bring in other talent and to help revolve this team?
yeah,
And if we can't bring in other talent, who is it gonna be? The only
yeah,
thing is like not a lot of teams or players want to go to like I wouldn't really say Miami
yeah.
is a small market team, but they kind of had that small market
Nah,
team
see,
feel.
the problem is people want to play with all stars. They don't want to play with winning coaches. They care more about the all stars than they do about the winning coaches.
Hmm.
Um, because
Yeah, I definitely agree.
if it was about the coaches in the NBA as it is in the NFL, if it was
Hmm.
about the coaching staff and the people in upper office, okay, Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra would have a winning program every year because those two just know how to get it done.
Then I
Okay,
think a lot of players would have wanted to go with like
Okay.
Doc Rivers because he's had so much success
Okay.
with every team he's
People
been on.
people want to go with LeBron or KD or Steph Curry because they know they have a free ride to a championship, regardless of who's coaching. But let's move forward here. We're taking a lot of time on this. Lakers.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Lakers, Nets, Mavs, and Hawks all hold 2-1 leads. The Jazz hold a 1-1 tie with the Grizzlies, and the 76ers are up 2-0. We know we'll just start out with your thoughts on the Mavs, obviously, because we just went on about my team. So,
So if any Mavericks fans know, Rondo played for us with that big old trade with, I think with Boston back in the day, when he and Doc Rivers weren't seeing eye to eye anymore. Well, he went to Dallas, and him and Rick Carlisle weren't seeing very eye to eye. Now he's apparently knowing every single play that Rick Carlisle is playing. But at the time when he said that statement, you guys were down 2-0. That's why I said you need to shut up. But now that they won Game 3, I think, and with small ball too, which means this is coaching 101, guys. Small ball means you typically have 3 guards and 2 forwards, but the forward is playing center.
yeah.
Which it means it's like a smaller guy playing center instead of like a 7-foot tall guy or a 6'11" guy. Instead of that, it's like maybe like a 6'7", a 6'6" guy playing center. And the Mavericks, who have tall centers and tall guys on a team, couldn't do anything against Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Rajon Rondo. We were leaving Marcus Morris wide open for threes. Where was the defense in the second half? In the first half, the second half, you played like absolute shit. And if I saw anything from that game, Luka had no help. Luka had 37 points. Where was everybody else? Where was KP? He only had 8 points on the night. Couldn't do anything. The Clippers defense showed up when they needed to. The Mavericks were like, whoa, where was this defense the last 2 games? All of a sudden now they come to Dallas and like, Clippers have showed up. This is what happened last year. The Mavericks had it, I think, like tied. I think they were up 2-1, and then they lost. Now it's 2-1. So if you're the Mavericks, like, whoa, we've been in this situation before. And what had happened last year? KP got hurt. Luka is now dealing with shoulder tightness. So you know he's putting way too much. They're putting way too much on Luka's shoulders, literally. Not
on
trying
his
to
back.
make that as a joke, but
but
no, on his back. Oh, actually on his shoulder. They said he might have had back tightness, but no, it was shoulder.
But no. What I was saying to alleviate the joke was
tightness,
they put too much pressure on his back there.
Yes,
sorry,
they did.
that's what I was going for.
None of this supporting. I want to say the only one that was actually helping him out in that role was Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a 2-time NCAA champion. He knows how to play in these big situational games and hit big shots, which he did hit 2 big threes. But he can't be the only guy that shows up with Luka hitting like he does. Yes, I get it. The Clippers have not been able to really contain Luka, but you want to know when they were able to contain him? When he started getting hurt. In the first half, they couldn't contain him.
Yeah.
I think he already was like at 20-something points, if not like close to 20 points after the first half. Second half starts, the Clippers made that half won. And if I know anything about basketball, the second half is the half you want to win.
So
the first half doesn't matter. Yes, you want to win every quarter. But the second half is the half you need to focus the most on, and the Mavericks didn't show up.
Let's face it.
As far as the Lakers, them being up 2-1 on the Suns, That looks pretty scary. If
Don't-
you're the Suns fans,
Yep.
you got to be scared about the
Don't
Lakers.
don't call this a
Don't sleep
surprise.
on them.
Don't even call this a sleeper or an upset, okay?
No.
Let's face it, we know what the Lakers are capable of when they're fully staffed. We know let's face it, the Suns just had the bad draw. They're not going to go down as the worst 2 seed in history if they lose it, but they're going to go down.
They just had a tough time with having to go up against the Lakers, who are currently the NBA champs.
Yeah, let's face it. They're the champs for a reason. That's all I got to say on that. But let's skip ahead here. Charles Barkley and LeBron and many others have been stepping up to the plate to offer their concerns after the Russell Westbrook incident the other night. Russell Westbrook had popcorn thrown at him when he left the game injured.
I think it was dumped on him, actually.
Or it was dumped on him. The fan got escorted out and was told never to come back, basically. Now Barkley said that NBA players should be able to beat up a fan each game. And you know it's bad when Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace, is just sitting there saying, "Where do I sign up?" sorry, I had to go for that joke, but
I don't know. I mean, as much as I wouldn't mind seeing the players like getting legal action against like the people, if you're a player and you beat up a fan, they can take legal action on you, and then you can wind up in jail.
It's
like
another
I don't know where the hell Charles
comment.
Barkley is going at. You should be able to, So, you know what's half-assed? Him guaranteeing teams winning. That's what's half-assed.
Yeah,
but you're right. It is, and you shouldn't. I don't care if you're a former basketball player, analyst, or anything. You should not be saying, "Well, I think they should get the right to beat up a fan." Okay, but you do realize that there's going to be legal action taken against the players doing that.
Look,
there can be consequences. Adam Silver is probably going to step up and like, "No, you can't do that." Like, say if that was to happen. Like, say if Westbrook was to go at this fan and like throw a punch at him because he threw popcorn.
Yeah.
Then that player can get teed up, fined, suspended, thrown out of the league for that.
I believe
there's just way too much liability in it. But I do think that there needs to be something in some capacity to maybe protect the players. But the way that everybody wants it to go is just the wrong way, I think.
See, it's about a reaction. And that's what this fan wants, is a reaction from Russell Westbrook. Okay, that's why he did it. Because he knows if he gets a reaction and Russell Westbrook storms the stands, Westbrook's done for the year, okay? Let's put it right then and there, okay? You can say, well, the NBA wouldn't have the balls to suspend one of the best players in the game. Oh, you go in the stands, it's over, okay? Plain and simple. You go in the stands, it's over. I don't care if you're LeBron. I don't care if you're KP. I don't care if you're Steph Curry or Kevin Durant. You go in the stands, it's over, okay?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
So, but what I'm going to say about what LeBron said about protect the players, what more do you want done, okay? The guy got tossed.
I know, that's exactly.
Okay.
Do you want them in jail? Is that what you want?
What do you want?
Want them to have legal actions?
Do you want us to screen them? Okay, do you want us to say, I need a license or 2 forms of ID and a photo? Kind of like a background check when you get an accounting job or anything involving money. What more do you want done? Because what more can be done?
I mean, they already have to wear masks. They already have to show proof of, stuff.
Okay.
What more? Do you want them to, like,
do you want criminal records
test before they go into the game?
Yeah. Do you want criminal records released? Okay. We could do that. Okay. But what I'm saying is there's nothing that can be done to stop it beforehand. Okay? Look at the old days. Look at the old baseball games and basketball games when a call didn't go their way. There were glass beer bottles thrown onto the court, onto the field of play. There was cans thrown on. Okay? They pelted players back in the day with stuff like that. They've changed that culture. Okay? They've changed it.
Right.
There's nothing more that can be done unless you just put up a whole screen around the whole place so that way the screen catches everything. And then you're going to have fans complaining that the view is bad because you have to look through netting.
Oh, I know.
Okay? There's nothing more that can be done. Okay? This just states how soft this culture is now with the players in with the players generally. I don't want to get political, but that just shows how soft the players are compared to the players of old.
Also, I want to know how he was able to get popcorn thrown on his head because I'm pretty sure that they're not allowing fans on the courtside seats.
I guess he must have had a really good arm.
Higher up.
Yeah,
so that's why. Oh yeah, probably.
But still, what more do you want done? Because to me, there's not much more you can do.
I guess the only thing I agree with is maybe having like, because I think LeBron wants the camera to come, like footage to come out of the fan throwing the popcorn. That I agree with. Maybe you should the NBA should start reviewing in a way of the fans that maybe throw it or do stuff to the players. But as far as more action being done, there's not much. The NBA is just gonna tell the players, you're just gonna have to suck up and deal with it and just move on and keep on playing. This is the playoffs. Stuff like that is gonna happen. It's a hostile environment. And no matter where you're going to go, it's going to be hostile. This is what happens when you start bringing fans back into the stands. You're going to have to get used to it.
But that's also just the way Philly sports go, okay? Not much more I can say about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know how Philly sports go.
Philadelphia is just okay. I definitely do.
I wouldn't say they're terrible.
That crowd's even more hostile than...
Okay, I wouldn't say they're a terrible fan base. I would say they're a very passionate fan base, and it brings out the worst in them.
They are.
So, but with that, let's take a break here because we've gone on for almost an hour for the first part. But
oh man,
oh yeah. But when we come back, we'll talk the PGA Championship. We'll have some MLB news and some NHL news. But before we go to break, I just want to say with the pandemic coming to an end, it's not on our sheet, by the way. With the pandemic coming to an end. Youth sports are reopening. Please consider, I know Dick's Sporting Goods is doing something. They're raising money. They're raising awareness for youth sports. As a youth sport coach myself, we need to be sure that we get these kids back in the game. Get them away from the Fortnite, as we like to say. So,
yes.
I hope that by saying this on air and maybe with Zach, maybe Tinkle Sports can get involved in something with the relaunching or the reopening of youth sports in America. We'll be right back, though, in a minute after your canteen or your anchor break. All right, welcome back, guys. Second part beginning now. Let's start off with the PGA Championship. Phil Mickelson just became the oldest player in PGA history to win a major. And of course there was another announcement involving him. We'll get to that in a second, but Jason, just shows you that old guys still rule.
Well, golf, you don't have to, there's not a certain age limit that you can,
let's face it,
you can be 70, 80 years old and still playing golf.
Exactly.
So, to have him win it, I mean, hey, if you can still show it, and I am pretty sure Phil Mickelson does those arthritis commercials, and I think he has it
pretty He has rheumatoid arthritis.
Bad. So, to go out there with arthritis and win a major, I give him a hell of a lot of credit.
It just shows old guys rule. And
it'd be like if Michael Jordan was to go in the NBA right now with bad arthritis in his knees and somehow win an NBA championship. That just shows you, But
yeah,
hey, man.
The difference though is that Phil Mickelson still has a lot left in the tank. I think it proved on Sunday. Of course, the other big announcement now, Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady are teaming up once again. And they will
They
be...
go up against Aaron Rodgers.
And Bryson
and
DeChambeau. Bryson.
Oh, that's right, Bryson.
It's led to a lot of trolling on Tom Brady's side of things. I'm sorry, I hate Tom Brady, but man,
my God.
It's just funny.
Have you been seeing the memes about
I know.
Bryson? They're freaking hilarious.
Like I said, and it's all Tom Brady making it. Who knew Tom Brady was a meme lord? But at least his humor. Thank God his humor isn't flat. That's all I gotta say. Like his football. Sorry, had to go there. All right, but no, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of disappointed that it isn't Tiger, but for obvious reasons, Tiger is not pairing up with Aaron Rodgers. So, I expect it to be a good match. I think Bryson's a worthy opponent. And I'm excited. I kind of wish it was Rory McIlroy, though, because I think McIlroy is the bigger star than Bryson is. Of course, he's a bigger name and might have brought in more ratings that way. But I'm excited to see what...
probably would have, but...
I'm excited to see the rematch of the two NFC Championship quarterbacks.
Just this time on a golf course.
Yeah. But...
Watch Aaron Rodgers somehow beat Tom Brady, but that's the only way he could.
I'm going to lean toward Mickelson and Brady as my early pick there, though. I think Brady played really well with Phil Mickelson last time. So I think DeChambeau and Rodgers will make it entertaining, but I don't think it's going to be the pairing like Peyton and Tiger.
But what isn't Tom Brady good at this point?
Yeah.
You know, good at football. Apparently good at golf, so yeah, they're probably gonna win it, to be honest. Nothing against Aaron Rodgers, but
yeah,
if there's any time to beat Brady's, maybe on a golf course, not on a freaking football field.
Yeah. So then, yes.
Now we'll move on to news.
Baseball. Corey Kluber, we talked about him, I think, last show or the show before. He threw the first Yankees no-hitter just a few weeks ago since 1999. Of course, now he is out 2 months. It is a shoulder injury. He's 4-3 this year. He has a 3.04 ERA and 53.1 innings pitched in 10 starts. Man, I'm starting to slur here slur my words here a little bit. But, yeah, I think this is a big loss for the Yankees here.
Yeah, I would say so.
Of course, he's...
It could be in trouble, especially if they're fighting for a playoff spot.
They're in a division where the Rays and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays are all four are still very much alive in it. And this is the summertime, let's face it, from now till probably late July, maybe the first few weeks in August, this is go time now, okay? You can't dig yourself too deep. There's a chance maybe he comes back early, maybe he comes back later. I don't know the extent of the injury, I just know the injury happened. But nothing the Yankees can't buy their way out of. That's all I'm going to say about it. Even if they're down and out, they'll buy their way right out of it. So I'm not going to say it's going to cause any trouble, but it may cause them to have to fight possibly for a wild card. Obviously, he's going to start once every 5 days when he's actually pitching, so it's not as big of an impact as it would be if, say, Aaron Judge got hurt. Of course, Aaron Hicks is also out for the year for the Yankees, and that's a big speed guy that they lost. So, two big losses, I think. If I had to guess, they're going to vie for a wild card. They're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, probably.
They're going to be in the playoffs, but they're going to vie for the wild card and the 4th seed. So,
sounds about right.
Yeah. Let's move on here. We've, of course, talked a lot about Ohtani and how talented and gifted he is, a once-in-a-generational baseball talent. My MVP pick for the AL. He threw a pitch right at Kana's head for the A's. Didn't hit him. It came close, though, but it was enough to clear the benches and start a little heated discussion. Should he have been tossed from the game? That's the real question.
Depending on if it was intentional or not, probably.
I don't know much about this, but I would say if you pitch towards someone's head and it causes the bench to clear, maybe you should have flirted with an ejection just because, now you've delayed the game by clearing the benches. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it might have been intentional just because of the fact it was an interdivisional game. But there's just so many factors involved in it. I think the umps just had to say, let it play out after they get everyone back to the benches. So I think no action might have been the best decision. Maybe they should do a further investigation into it, see what happened. If it's really that concerning, I don't think it is. But of course, it's very, very, very possible that he just lost control of a pitch. Yeah. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
So that's why I say if it's intentional or unintentional, but who the hell knows?
Moving forward here, of course, the Padres. Now, I've always said that I call a bluff when the Padres do well, but I can't look past this right now. They are 7-0 against American League teams. Now, this is interdivisional matchups because the Padres are in the National League. 7-0 is nothing to sneeze at, considering getting to 4-0 in baseball is already a challenge as an overall record. The Padres are 33-19. They're leading their division by a game and a half over the Dodgers and the Giants. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that they are an early favorite.
Yeah. Sounds like it. If you can do that well in your interdivision, like in divisional games itself, to be 7-0, that's never. Well, one is never
interleague. Sorry, interleague games. So kind of like what the World Series will be. I should have clarified a little better, but so they're in the NL. Yeah, they're 7-0 right now.
They're 7-0 against like the. I get what you mean now.
Yeah,
kind of like AFC going up against NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks very promising for them if they go up against like, any team in the World Series. Yeah, 7-0 against the interconference. That looks really, really good, and your chances look even better now being up 7-0. So, I say yes, they definitely could be a very early favorite to win the World Series. Because if you're still undefeated, then you can use that momentum heading into.
I
think
it looks good if you get there.
Get to the World Series, anyway. Yeah, I was just about to say if you can actually get there, yes, that looks very promising. But just because it's the regular season doesn't mean the playoffs are gonna plague them any better or any worse than that already great record against inter-conference games.
See, now,
sorry.
No, I was gonna say that I think obviously we know the Dodgers are defending champs, but the Padres have stacked up this offseason. They've got Fernando Tatis, who is a young, bold star in the game. I don't want to say it's far-fetched that they could win the division. Maybe the wild card. They're probably another team, much like the Yankees, I think, that are going to vie for the wild card at best. Just because we know eventually the Dodgers are going to get it together. They're World Series champs for a reason. They didn't, you could say it was a Mickey Mouse type season. 60 games. You really didn't get a good judging on who should have been there, who shouldn't. But you don't win the World Series by accident. Just like you don't win the Super Bowl by accident. You don't win the NBA Finals by accident. Okay? Once you get there, maybe you got there by accident, but you didn't win it by accident. Okay? That's probably where I'm going to leave it with that. But let's switch gears now. Let's talk some hockey. The Lightning. Man, I wish I had my Lightning shirt today. They have advanced to play the Carolina Hurricanes. The Bruins and the Islanders are going to face off in round 2, and I talked to a very angry Penguins fan the other day. They're like, so he comes up to me and he's like, every single time the Penguins played the Islanders, I used to mark that as an easy win. Now, the Islanders just went and got good. And now I can't even circle it as a win. So, just thought that you'd find some humor in that. But,
that's great.
The Islanders are built now compared to the past. So, I'm not shocked. They didn't, they made it to the Stanley Cup, or the Eastern Finals. I don't know how that works anymore, but they made it to the finals to play the Lightning before the Stanley Cup. So I'm not shocked at the end of the day that they got that win over the Penguins. I don't think the Penguins are what the Penguins used to be.
Yeah, I thought they would be able to do well, but I guess I'll be the first that come here and state that I was wrong about my prediction about them. But I was right about the Bruins. Pretty sure I was right about the Lightning. Islanders, no.
Yeah.
Vegas was right. Avalanche, probably not.
No, the Avalanche are moving on to round 2. They are going to face Vegas, and Vegas just came out of a 7-game thriller against their opponent.
They don't have very much time to prepare for that game 1 of second round.
You can drop one game. 1-0 is not bad. The leads.
No, it's not going to be terrible.
See, let me just state this for NBA, for NHL, and MLB purposes, because those 3 leagues do a best of 7. The worst leads you can have: 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. 3 worst leads you can have. Okay? Don't ask me why. We just know that they are the worst leads that you can have in a series, because it's still wide open. 3-0 is probably the safest lead you can have.
Yep.
3-2 might even not be that scary. See, but 3-2 signifies
probably not.
Unless if you went 2-2 in the first 4 games and then you go to 3-2, that signifies a good series.
Yes, it
okay.
does. It signifies a very back and forth series.
Yeah, you go 3-1 and you drop game 5. Now it's 3-2. That's where it's like, now this isn't a good series, but it's more a sound the alarm sort of thing. Do we want to get memed and be known as the team that blew a 3-1 lead? So it's back to the drawing boards. So that's, 3-3 is obviously the oh shit moment. But those 3 are the worst leads in all of sports to have. But the other news is that Winnipeg, the Jets, the only good Jets in all professional sports. I'm sorry. We had to take a dig.
I'm pretty sure, wasn't I right about the Jets, too?
I think you picked the Oilers, bud.
Oh, yeah, I did choose the Oilers. That's right.
But the Winnipeg Jets,
right.
the Winnipeg Jets are the only good Jets in all professional sports. Sorry I went there.
Until they face off. Against the
Canadians
and then
Canadians or Toronto, and Toronto leads 3-2. So
yeah,
we're getting there.
I mean, good for Toronto. I did choose the Maple Leafs to win that, so to see them up 3-2, I guess looks very promising. Who the hell knows? Montreal could win the next 2 games and then move on.
I could see that.
Possible.
3-2 is still an anything's possible series, but obviously it's the brink of elimination still, so it's in between that. But let's move forward. Now we got our favorite part of the show, and I've been teasing it from the beginning. The best tinkle on this is yet to come, and it's here right now. You ready for this? Oh boy,
I'm ready for it, but I don't know. I don't know if if the Pittsburgh Pirates are ready for it.
I don't think the Pittsburgh Pirates are ready for anything memeable. So of course Javier Baez here. He hits He hits a line drive to first or to third. They throw it to first. It drags him off the plate. And, of course, Baez runs backwards. Now, that's where you think the tinkle on this moment is, if you didn't see the play. Javier Baez running backwards from first to home. You know that's an automatic out if he tags first. What was this Pirates guy thinking? He chases Javier Baez back home to get the tag. A runner scores. They throw it to the pitcher who's nowhere near first base, and it goes out to the outfield. Baez gets a free ride to second. You can't write anything stupider than this. Oh my gosh. The run scores.
I'm pretty sure there was
Baez at second.
Wasn't there 3 errors? I could have sworn there were 3 errors in this game.
First
all
off,
basic.
I don't question the Pirates' stupidity anymore, okay? Well, let's just start with that. We're not going to question this anymore. But why didn't you just tag first and end it right there? Okay,
I don't understand it.
You had 2 outs already. All you had to do was tag first base. You didn't need to chase him back down the home plate line while the man at third's running home to score. Okay, for that, this may be higher than what I'm about to say, but tinkle on this, Pittsburgh. Tinkle on this. Tinkle on it hard, tinkle on it good.
Tinkle on this.
Okay, tinkle on this hard, tinkle on it good, and don't stop tinkling on it. Okay. No more
if you're
to
the
say about
Pittsburgh
it.
Pirates manager, you look at that situation and be like, what the fuck did I just get myself into?
I'm telling you, I'm having a hard
Trying to
time.
be the manager of this god-awful team.
Just
like,
reading this, I'm like, what the actual fuck just happened? I'm gonna read.
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There were a lot of candidates, but I think this one definitely had to top all of them.
This one is the best one of 2021. By the way, I retweeted it on Twitter. It was from Pat McAfee's page. If you check out at Sports Talk TS, Sports Talk on Tinkle Sports, search it on Twitter. The video is there. I wish I could show you the video, but due to copyright infringements, we can't. So that is why I had to run through and explain what happened as opposed to showing the video. Because trust me, the video would have been way funnier, but we don't need a copyright strike. So,
nope.
With that, I'm at a loss of words, but I guess we'll start out by saying thanks for watching this nice episode here of Tinkle Sports Talk. Thank you again to all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, for our freedom, so we could do this here on Tinkle Sports. And, of course, tune in today. Of course, lots of baseball. Indy 500 is today, the biggest sports gathering since the pandemic started.
And also some more NBA basketball
NBA
playoffs. You don't want to miss a bunch of Game 4s.
Yeah, NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs going on. And, of course, we'll have Out of Turn 4 on Tuesday. We will recap the greatest spectacle in all of racing, the Indy 500. And the Coca-Cola 600 we will recap. That is tonight on Fox Sports. And, of course, we will also have possibly another Tinkle Roundtable this week with Zach. Maybe Jason will join us. Who knows?
Probably. I should be able to.
So
I don't have to. Oh, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll just play it by ear, I guess. But thank you again to all those who have served, active, retired, lost life in combat. And we will be back here next Sunday with another episode. Hopefully nothing as stupid as what the Pirates did. We'll see. But until then, guys, goodbye, everyone.